today, you guys, I'm so excited for this episode. I think it's going to be an unhinged one. Jeff and I are in a good, happy mood. We wanted a light little topic, but I think it's actually going to get philosophical and fun at the same time. So what we're doing today, it might seem strange when I tell you what we're doing. Bear with us, because I think you're actually going to get a lot of deep insights, ironically, out of this. So I've got a list of 15 cliche travel quotes.
I have no idea what's coming, by the way.
Jeff doesn't know. I feel like there's two types of people in the world. There's people who love cliche quotes and the people who hate them. I'm not talking about like live, laugh, love. We're talking about like they're good quotes. They come from a place. But like I love a good quote. I feel like they land, they're meaningful, they hit you at the right time, and they just like put things into a really concise way that you just couldn't say yourself. Anyway, with that, I've got 15 of the kind of like, I would say some top cliche travel quotes that have made it out into the world. And we're going to have Jeff live react to...
It's a reaction video.
Live reaction video. He's not unboxing things or eating things. He's reacting to live quotes. If you're listening to this and you think you want to turn this podcast off episode right now, again, I really think you should stay because, yes, they're going to start as cliche quotes. But then we're going to get into like, why are they so popular? Do we agree with them? Do we not? But also, I think I know we'll get into some really deep just talks about the purpose of travel, growth, life, all of the things of like really why we travel. I think is what it's coming down to this. So anyway, I don't think I can do this any more justice. So I think I'm just going to talk everyone out of listening. What's your thought before we start, Jeff?
I have no idea what to expect. I don't know where you're going with this. I'm just like, take the wheel and see what happens.
Jesus, take the wheel.
All right, Jesus.
Marissa, take the wheel. Scarier.
Marissa just called herself Jesus.
That's not what I said. I was giving you a quote, Jeff. This is a quote. Oh, okay. Lord. Anyway, I'm really excited for this episode, if you couldn't tell. So we're going to jump right in. Okay, so Jeff, are you ready for quote number 1?
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, we had to start with this one. Number 1, not all those who wander are lost.
Oh, God.
What's your take, Jeff? They get a little more nuanced as we go. You think it's a pretentious quote?
I feel like the person.
I see what you're saying.
I feel like the person that wrote that was like, "I'm so fucking smart."
I would have felt that way if I had written it.
Gold. That's gold. I fucking nailed it.
That's hysterical. Well, the person who wrote this apparently is J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know.
Oh. I take it back.
Oh, should I know who that is?
I'm a Lord of the Rings.
Now I'm not a Lord of the Rings person.
The Hobbit?
No. Just no.
How do you know so many things and know so few things? I don't understand you at all.
I'm crying.
Lord of the Rings. All right, well, now I've taken back my response. It's beautiful.
Because it is a smart breath. That's even funnier.
Say it again.
Not all those who wander are lost. Okay, well... Okay, so tell me, do you think it's true or false? And then 2, explain your reasoning.
Say it again. Not all who wander are lost.
Yes. That's
it. That's all. Oh.
That's it. It's a short one.
Not all who wander are lost. Yeah. I agree with that. I completely agree with that. Okay.
Do you think some people who wander are lost?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so break down the difference.
All right, so not.
That's why this quote's so wise and so few words. It's not all who wander. It's not saying everyone who's wandering is not lost. There's some lost fucking people wandering, but
yeah, I think it's the reason for your wandering. So, if you're wandering out of curiosity, good example. All right, so you get to a new city. Sometimes I've gone to a new city and just wandered around. Like, not because I
favorite way to explore the place.
Yeah. Not because I was trying to, like, escape something or I was looking for answers to stuff, to life, to my life. Just wanted to wander. Just like, let's just see what's out there. And I think that's some people are like that. I don't think they're lost. I wasn't lost when I was doing that. I mean, I physically got lost. Mentally, yes. I was like, yeah, cool.
I have gotten lost wandering.
Great bar. Great bar. Lucky me. Let's go. And then also, I've wandered looking for answers. I was like kind of lost mentally. So yeah, it's both. I think travelers fit into both of those, especially digital nomads. Some digital nomads are lost.
Yes.
Lost.
Can you talk about, we have talked about this some on the podcast, but tell us, if someone's listening and you're saying some people who wander are very lost, tell me about those people.
I think a lot of digital nomads we've talked about before are looking for an escape from their life, and they're running from their problems. And traveling's a good distraction. It's like really, really takes your head off of your shit until your chickens come home to roost, until your roosters are broken, and then it catches up in a hurry. I think a lot of people do that. And it's probably, I don't know if it's actually helpful for these people to do that, because you can be lost and start wandering and digital nomading, and you might find the answers to your life, or it might all just catch up with you, and you've done.
Yeah,
you're gonna get wrecked.
Yeah, it's like it gets worse. So yeah, I would agree. I think it is really, like, when you think about like the preciseness of this quote, like that not all who wander lost. Like, I think it is pretty brilliant and very true. Of like, I don't know the percentage, call it 50-50 of like digital nomad or travelers or just people in life, but I think a lot of people who think like, oh, I'm just gonna, I'll take a year off, I'm just gonna travel, I'm just gonna escape, I just gotta like run away. If you're running away from what you're doing, you might be lost and wandering. And like Jeff just said, I think it sort of amplifies as a fire where you just realize how lost you really are and nothing gets fixed. But I think there's a lot of people who wander with, it's like wandering with intention. I guess that's what I would say. There are a lot of people who do wander with intention. A lot of digital nomads fall into this. Some people don't. But the example you gave of like wandering around town, it's like, even right before this conversation, you and I were talking about how sometimes, even when you're just like working, for example, trying to solve something, if you just go outside and take a walk and wander, like you get downloads, your brain comes. So I think sometimes just wandering to wander of like, you're in a new place, you're looking at new things, you're wandering to a new country to explore. You're not necessarily, you might be physically lost. I have been in places where I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I am. I don't know how to get back to the hotel I'm staying at. I've been lost, but it's like, I'm finding myself as I'm as I'm lost. So anyway, I like this quote.
Yeah. Okay. Now that it's from J.R.R. Tolkien, I completely reverse course.
I don't know what to say about that. That's funny. So this one gets a check mark from us. Okay. Number 2, I wanted to start with these two because this is another like most cliche travel quote. So okay, you're gonna tell me whether you think it's true or false, and then we'll get into it. Okay, number 2. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for.
Oh, I know this one. I love it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 1,000% yes.
This apparently is John A. Shedd. Do we know who that is?
No.
Because I do not. Okay.
Not a clue. Didn't do Lord of the Rings.
We like you, John. I should just find all quotes from the Lord of the Rings guy. Have you blind
Lord of the
react.
Rings guy. It's J.R.R. Tolkien.
I don't know who that is.
Lord of the Rings guy.
I don't watch Lord of the Rings. I'm not a Lord of the Rings person. Okay.
Shame.
Reacts a ship.
We're gonna
a
have
ship
to
in a harbor.
dissolve this business immediately.
We've reached our differences. It was nice knowing you all. We are done. Okay, so yeah, Jeff, a ship in a harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. Which thing?
You're right. So that basically means ship in the harbor. Yeah. Okay. So it's kind of like protecting yourself too much with safety and comforts, right? So the idea there being that. Yes, you can remain perfect. It's like caging a bird, right? You can be fully safe in an area, but you're not really living, right? You're not really living if you're just limiting yourself to being in this safe little bubble. You should, go out where it is more dangerous. Yeah, you can leave the harbor, and it's going to be more dangerous, but you're gonna be living, and that's what ships are meant to do. They're meant to get out there and live, and nothing is safe in life, so get out there and do it, right? Nothing, because people have this delusion of safety, I think, right? And they're trying to eliminate for any discomfort, anything that's not safe. And I don't think that's correct. I mean, there should be, don't go do reckless, stupid shit, but also you gotta live life a little bit because there is risk out there. So let the ships out of the harbor. I love that quote. I can't believe you found that one. That's one of my favorite ones.
What do you mean I can't believe I found that one? It's like, that's like the travel quote. No? Maybe. I don't know. I love that one.
I don't know where you're at with your quote game. Like, it's all over the place. You know none of the common ones and a ton of the weird ones.
That's true. I didn't know if you'd know this one, but I agree 100% with what you said. It sort of reminds me of like, it's like if you literally just stayed locked in your home, your apartment, wherever you live, and never went outside, like, yeah, maybe you wouldn't. It's like the bubble boy. Wasn't that a thing of like someone who had like immune compromise? It's like, yeah, you probably, you're not going to get in a car accident or a plane accident, and like you're not going to get some virus. But it's like that's how we were. It's like COVID, right? When the beginning where everyone's on lockdown, like it's like you're living your life that way, and it's like you're going to survive. But if we had all done that forevermore, like people were breaking free because they were like, I'd rather get COVID than stay locked in isolation forevermore. So it kind of reminds me of that, and so many people write in to us about. Maybe you have these fears as well about safety of travel, right? There's so many people who are so scared to travel to different countries, different cultures. You've heard rumors about places. It's just anything unknown is often scary to people. So if you've ever had a fear of like, will you be safe when you travel? Are you going to get mugged? Like, is there some, is your plane going to crash? It's like, yeah, those things can happen. Like you try to do things in ways that are as risk averse as I should say that I don't know, you can minimize your risk as much as you can while you travel. But as Jeff said, it's like I guess that's why the quote is so brilliant, right? It's like, yeah, you can stay safe in your little harbor, but boats are meant to like go out into the lake, go out into the ocean. And I've been on boats that have gotten stuck and broken down and in lakes and oceans and places, and it was like fucking worth it still, So anyway, all of that to say, it's like, would it be safer if Jeff and I had never traveled to all the countries? Absolutely, probably. But like, is our life so much richer, so much better, so much, I don't know. It's like, everything feels better because we've like taken the risks to travel. And as I think I mentioned this a couple episodes ago, as I was thinking about like my health this past year where I couldn't really travel, I was so grateful that I did it in the years that I could. I literally thought to myself, like, thank God I went to all those places while I could, because you just don't know what will happen. So yes, you will stay likely safer in your, and not, I think also like you said, we assume you'll be safe if you stay in your hometown.
You might get depressed and have a heart attack.
You could get in a car accident. Maybe. I think there's some statistic that says, like, I forget the percentage, like the most number of car accidents happen like within a mile from your home or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's because your brain kind of goes on autopilot and you're not really like paying as much attention because you've done it so many times.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's danger for staying home. There's danger for not living your life. Yeah. Like, you don't want to regret at the end of your life never having done anything. So anyway, this is all to say, you are a boat. Go out into the ocean. Okay, that got good. Number 3, I'm just going to move on to the next one after that. I put this one because I think it's a good continuation of this next one. The one we just said. So number 3 says, adventure may hurt you, but monotony will kill you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's adventure will hurt you. Talking about like your physical body getting hurt, and it will. That happened a lot in Bolivia. I wrecked that dirt bike while we were riding in the dark. Bike? Yeah, somebody had to switch off from the dirt bike to the ATV. I think it was Caroline. I think it's Caroline, because she dropped it. I'm like, I'll take the dirt bike, and then I wrecked the dirt bike.
I don't remember you wrecking it.
Yeah, I was hurt.
You did?
That afternoon. Yeah, I was hurt. I was just.
I remember her falling. I don't remember you. But
I took the dirt bike, and to be fair, I was like absolutely flying on that thing, testing its limits.
And it was the end of already driving 6 hours on an ATV because you were driving me all day.
It was a lot. So anyways, you're gonna get hurt traveling, but monotony. At least for me, because we talked through all those character types, like the people that there's one that like needs novelty in life, the adventurer or the seeker or something like that.
Yeah.
That's mental, right? Monotony is all mental. And I think especially with my type, monotony with no novelty in your life is slow death. It's Truman Show, it's Suburbs, it's the same routine, absolutely kills my soul. Maybe it's not for some people. Some people kind of like that, but do they actually like it? I don't know. Do they actually like it?
That's a good point. Maybe they.
Or they
it's
just
like, well, it's safe. You think? I think it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe there's I don't know. Do you think that there's a small percentage of people in the world who like genuinely if they could get past fears and like all the things that typically hold people back from traveling, do you think they would genuinely not like? Do you think there's people who would genuinely not like any sort of travel?
I think maybe certain people have a very, very low tolerance for discomfort. Very low tolerance for discomfort. Like you'll see that.
I was gonna say, is that like learned over time? Like, do you think they were created that way as like a child forevermore? Or is like over time they've learned to kind of evolve to be like discomfort is bad, stay far away, you know?
Maybe both. I was listening to a podcast recently, the nature versus nurture thing, and somebody was saying, I don't know if you could ever put math on this, but they said the math is like 2/3 nurture, 1/3 nature.
Yeah.
I actually want to believe that. I don't know if it's true. I want to believe that because it makes me believe that people can change their mold. So I would lean towards saying it's nurture. Like if your parents raised you to be, what are they called? Hover parents?
Helicopter parents. Yeah.
Right? Then you're going to be a very, very nervous, anxious person and not very resilient to life. So I think those people would lean a little bit more towards being happy in the burbs where nothing happens.
It's an issue. I agree with it as well. And I don't know if it's like a personality type, if it applies to every single person. But I've talked to a lot of people who have come to me who have asked like whether or not they should, like, if you came to me and said like, should you take the leap to travel? Like you're thinking about it, you're not sure, it's scary, or you're scared to do it. Like what I always tell people, and I firmly believe this, I was like, I've never known anyone who has gone to travel and regretted it. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like whether it's for a month, a year, for 10 years, every now and then, I just feel like I do think the monotony of life will kill you slowly. You know, it's like that slow death to where you don't even like realize you're dying inside, and it gets kind of boring and routine, and you just become like a robot on autopilot. So I think maybe some digital nomads, us included at points, it's like maybe we can get addicted to the novelty of traveling so much, and like we're like, we need a new place, it's time for a new place. But I say that, but I don't know that I've ever had it in a bad way. Like I'm not running from things. And even as you and I were talking right before this, Jeff, like you've been home for a little bit for what, maybe like 2 months or something, and now it's like you're like, it's like you're listening to yourself. You're like, you said you were getting the travel bug, right? So you're ready. You're like,
I said, all right, I'm getting itchy feet.
That's true. You both same. The travel bug bit you, and now your feet are itchy. Itchy feet. You did say that. But yeah, I think you're listening to yourself. Where you're like, you needed some, like, you liked the downtime there for a little bit. You wanted some of it. You're back with your dog, and now you're saying like, you can feel it coming. Your body's asking you for some adventure, different place, different routine, different things. So yeah, if I'm in the same place too long, I also am like, okay, like what's next? And I don't think it's in a bad way. It's just genuinely like my spirit wants some adventure, and if I stay for never and ever, like my soul will be crushed.
Yes, it's slow down. I think it's just waiting to die. It sounds more.
It's like the death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah, exactly. Or being boiled. Boiled, you know, every temperature is like, not too bad. And then all of a sudden you're screaming inside.
Yes.
Too old to do anything about it.
Yeah.
It's morbid.
Yikes.
Morbid.
Okay. Well, that was a heavy one. Okay, I rearranged your order to this one next, because I think this one also, you said a little part of it that I think allowed this one to go next. So number 4, jobs fill your pockets, but adventures fill your soul.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Tell me.
You know, that's good timing, actually, because I told you earlier, I posted a LinkedIn poll on the question, would you rather take $240,000 a year in salary to go into an office, or $120,000 a year to work fully remote from wherever you want? And I think that's pertinent here, because the 240, a lot, you know what, actually it reminded me, a lot of people are saying, I'd take the 240K for 1 or 2 years and then get out and take the 120K. I'm like, no, you won't. There's no way you will. There's no way you will.
You're saying those people would just keep staying another year, another year, another year. Yeah.
I'm at 240K. I got to keep filling my pockets. It's such an golden handcuffs, such an addictive thing. So yeah, I mean, man, it's tough, the golden handcuffs thing, because it is tempting to want to fill your pockets constantly, and it's not just the money. It's mentally, we feel like we need to be making progress in our lives, right? And it feels like going backwards when you make less money, because you can't see that. We talked about that last episode. You can't really see the value that you're getting in your life and like your success by taking less money. You feel it, and that's hard because our culture wants to see the car and the house and bragging rights and all that shit. So it's to do the things that we've done and take a step out of the corporate world. It's hard because now it's like explaining what I do. It used to be CMO. It's like, what do you do now? I'm like, well, I run a small company where me and Marissa talk shit on a podcast and people get hired. Like, is that a job title?
Sure is.
Yeah. Just told you the job title. No, it's like,
yeah. I wish you would put that on your LinkedIn. I'm going to pull this quote from this audio later.
That's good. That's another tank top drop. That's good.
Yeah.
You get my gist. So I'm fully of the belief of work to live to work, whatever that one is. Another quote in there.
Oh, I don't have that one on here. It wasn't about travel specifically, but it is a good one.
Yeah, same gist though.
Yeah, it's funny though, as you say, I'll get back to like the jobs in your pockets and adventures fill your soul. But as you were saying, there's like, would you take the people who said like they'll do it for a year or two and then get out? I think you're very right. Like 99% of the people who say that don't. I've had one client I've worked with, and then one other, both a travel person, and this was like several years ago, and then another travel nomad friend who both told me those things, and I was like, you're never gonna. They were workaholics, both working on things they didn't really like. I remember my client who I worked with him, we were kind of like dreaming up his vision, and like he was like, I helped him figure out like what he actually genuinely wanted to be doing. He was like, I'm gonna do this for another year or two, and then this business is gonna sell, and then I'm going to be free to do, like he said he was going to be free to do the thing he really wanted to do. And I was like, I heard it. And I was like, yeah, I've heard this before. Like, okay. And then 2 years later, his business sold. He made millions of dollars as like a percent of equity. And then he like genuinely went and like is doing the kind of creative endeavor that he really wanted. So I was like, okay, wow, maybe some people really do this. And then the other one was more of a workaholic than probably I've met anyone in his life. And this was Digital Nomad who I traveled with. And it's like, we'd all be like, you want to go to the beach? We're going out to dinner. Do you want to go do this? And like 1 in 30 times he would join, but most of the time he was like working like 18 hours a day. And he said, he was like, like one day I'm going to sell this, or I'll get it to a point where I don't need to do it. And I was like, you're going to do this forever. There's no amount of money that you're already making great money. And now he's literally retired. He works maybe an hour a day, checks in on some things, and is like fucking living. And so anyway, I say some people, like if you do have that like medium term view, you can do that, but be mindful, as Jeff said, of like, do you have golden handcuffs? Are you forever going to say, I'll be happy when, just another year, just another year, just another year? So anyway, I wanted to share that. Sometimes that middle mindset can work, but it's really rare. But with the job fill your pockets and adventures fill your soul, I remember when I first saw this quote years ago when we were building out our website, me, you, and Diego. I had seen a Nomad post this, and I loved it because I said, jobs fill your pockets, but adventures fill your soul. But as a digital nomad, you can have both. Like adding a sentence on there. And I think that's what's so cool about this lifestyle, about getting a remote job that lets you work from anywhere. I think in the past, jobs fill your pocket, and then people would leave and be like, okay, now I get to take a break. You're going to go travel. You get to go on vacation to fill your soul, and you're going to go back to your job. And now you can, I do believe you can have both, even if you don't like your job. Like you could be traveling around when you have a remote job, having all the adventures that fill your soul at the same time. And I do think for some people, work also fills their soul. Like for you and I, this podcast I know fills your soul, because there's been times where I'm saying like, I don't think we necessarily, like this podcast is not like the main driver of our business, right? If it disappeared, our business would be pretty similar, right?
I'd be very sad. At least,
but you would be sad, right?
Yeah.
So the point of that saying, it's like this work, like it also benefits our business, but like this work fills your soul. Like you and I do this because we just genuinely enjoy this. So I think it, like, I would say 80% of that quote is true, but like 20%, I think jobs can also fill your soul too, to some extent.
Yeah.
Not for everybody.
I think the
travel does
distinguishing between jobs and passions is important. Like yeah, a job, it does fill my soul, but what we work on, I like,
Yeah.
what is the statistic on the people who don't like what they do?
85%
Yeah,
of people
right.
are
There you go.
miserable in their job.
There you go.
Are you
right?
one of them?
Yeah, are you one of them?
Get a new job.
Yeah.
With that, if you're not already on our email list, we do send out daily remote job listings that let you work from anywhere. So you can go to beachcommute.com/email if you are one of the 85% of miserable people, either in your job or your lifestyle. If you're living the monotony that we talking about before, if you wish you could travel more, definitely join our email list. Get a remote job so you can start traveling. Okay, number 5, Jeff. This one says, travel far enough, you'll meet yourself.
No.
Oh.
No.
Interesting.
That's the wandering question. That's the wandering question. That implies that somebody is looking for the answers in their travel to themselves. To me, it makes me think that maybe they haven't sorted stuff out with themselves and they're looking for answers through travel, which I don't think really works for most people. Again, it seems more like running away from yourself and looking for answers outside of yourself rather than within. Whoa,
Interesting.
I think it's the same thing. I think it's the same thing.
Interesting. Let me ask you a question. Do you think you know yourself better after traveling?
I do. Okay. I don't think it's as a result of traveling. I think that fuck, you caught me. I think
I know.
I think
it's not a guarantee.
I think it helped.
Yeah.
I think it helped me look at things in a different way, but I didn't travel to, I don't know, like, I went to travel because it seemed like fun. Mm-hmm. It seemed like something I would like to do, and then I happened to stumble upon what I needed in life. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe I haven't fully formed my...
I feel like actually we're gonna meet somewhere in the middle now, because after if I had live reacted to that quote first, I would have been like, fuck yeah, like absolutely, and then hearing yours I was like, well, maybe there is a little point. But I think it goes back to that first question, kind of the same as like not all those who wander are lost. It's like the same here, where some people are like that and some people aren't. So I think for some people, as you said, you could travel to the end of the world, and if you're still not looking at yourself, like unwilling to feel an emotion, don't want to face your deep dark demons or anything else, and you're still pretending to be whoever you've been, no amount of travel will like it's not like a guarantee. I guess that's what I should say. So this I guess the quote seems almost like it's a guarantee. Travel far enough, you'll meet yourself. But I think maybe the quote would be revised of like, if you're willing to look at yourself, if you travel far enough, you'll meet yourself much faster. Is that a new quote? Just joking.
I don't know if it's travel far enough. It's like you just got to keep
traveling anyway.
Going and going and going, and the more you travel, the further you'll get to your goal or finding yourself.
I do think that like maybe like, yeah, travel far enough. It's interesting, but I do think the places that I've traveled, like I would say almost like literally geographically farther, I do meet myself more, because it's pushed me. It's like the farther I go, the more out of my comfort zone I get. It's like you feel farther than home. Like when I'm across the world in Asia, I'm like I feel far. Like if I like you, there's something about like, I don't know, like in your bones. It's like I know if something happens, like I have to get on a plane and then probably another plane and probably a drive. I might be like on a boat in an island somewhere. It's like there's something about that puts you out of your comfort zone, and like and also it's almost like the farther away you are from anyone you've ever known, you almost have like more, you're like, no one knows you here, no one's close to know you here, people don't even understand your culture. Like it almost gives you more permission to not even consciously, but you can like be yourself, because it's kind of the same as like being in a room alone, right? You're like, no one's watching, you can be as weird as you want, but you get to do that in the interaction of real life and people. I don't know if that's making any sense, but I feel like for me, the farther I've gone and the more strangers I've met, and the farther into jungles and mountains and islands and boats and trains and planes to get to however far I'm going, for whatever reason, I do feel like I've gotten to know myself better. And I also feel like that's like, versus if I just go to Costa Rica, in a place I'm really comfortable with, I'm not doing as much like deep new digging and meeting myself. If I go to Mexico, I have a lot of fun and I love it there and it's easier for me, but I'm not meeting myself as much as if
There's
I go
something to
really far away.
There's something to that. Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone makes you more resilient, makes you more confident, makes you learn what you can do with yourself, how much uncertainty you can handle. Yeah, it's confidence building. So confidence building is growing and learning who you are. So yeah, okay, all right.
Somewhere in the middle. Not a guarantee, but it can help.
Somewhere in the middle.
I'll take it. I'm good. I like a challenge on these quotes because they're not necessarily true. Okay, number 6. This one actually is funny. It like literally goes right on where we're talking about, not intentionally. This one says, "Life begins at the end of your comfort zone."
The end of your comfort zone?
So it doesn't mean your comfort zone.
Like you're way past your comfort zone?
Well, like let's say, here's how I always explain comfort zone to people. Is like, let's say I think about it like a bullseye target, like you're shooting archery. Like let's say before you've traveled, I feel like my comfort zone or whatever, let's say wherever you're starting from is like that middle circle. And then like you can push it a little to like one more circle out, and then you push it to another circle out, another circle. So you can like keep pushing the edge of your comfort zone. So I think this quote is just saying like life starts to begin when you whatever your edge is, when you get to that edge and like go a little step further.
Oh, a little step further. Okay. I was thinking like, we talking ayahuasca? Full loss of control? Like life begins
full
when
on life begins when you have an ego death.
Yeah, okay. It's not that. Okay.
I'm curious your take on that. Do you think life begins when you've had an ego death, Jeff?
Ooh, man, it sure changes. I don't know if it begins. No, I think you're right. I think it makes sense to do it that way. Maybe go like one level deeper, further and further. You go. I don't think it makes sense to just go full on ego death. Like my life is way too comfortable. I need to actually, you know what? Annoying Sayulita and Tulum people. That's what they do. They go. They have this comfortable little U.S. city life, and then they're like, I need to see something different. And then they go on an ayahuasca trip in Tulum and come back like all of a sudden wearing like Burning Man stuff and like preaching to people about how they that's what happens. We don't do that. Don't be that person.
Little by little.
Yeah, inch your way out.
I don't know. You can jump into the deep end if you want. I'm down for that.
People are obnoxious because then they start getting preachy and like they figured out the world. It's like, come on, guys.
That's a different story. Yeah.
But
but it's a bold statement. Do you think life begins at the end of your comfort zone?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. I think just doing the same routine every day. Like I keep going back to the burbs. It's like that's just waiting to die, as far as I'm concerned. Like so, everything that you're doing to push yourself out, it could be as little as taking on a new hobby. All right, it doesn't have to be travel.
No,
travel's a big one. Like it's a big push for a lot of people. But yeah. I completely agree with this one. It's perfect.
I would say this is where I would argue with this quote where it says life begins. I would say like life keeps getting better or like evolving or deepening at the end of your comfort zone. Like my life began when I was born, or maybe it began many lifetimes ago, whichever your belief is. But I feel like it's like, I guess it's a question of like, are you truly alive, right? It's like your life is lifing, but it may not be a great one. So I would say that like life keeps getting greater at the end of your comfort zone. There's another cliche quote. I think it's a Tony Robbins quote that says like if you're not growing, you're dying, which is kind of like what you were getting at. So it's like I guess if you're at a homeostasis, you're either like, his point of it is like you really can't stay at neutral. You're either like pushing your comfort zone slightly and you're growing and your life is you're getting more life in your life, or if you're not, your life is slowly like, that's that slow frog boiling death, right? That's like the little by little you don't even know you're dying.
That's what I was thinking of the other day. All these quotes.
That's a good analogy. So yeah, I would argue I don't think it begins, but I think it grows, evolves, deepens, gets better, sometimes harder, but overall better. question mark. But I guess I do agree you should keep pushing your comfort zone, and I think travel is a great way to do that. And I always think about, even when I talk to, if you're afraid of travel, we haven't talked about like our origin stories of traveling in a while, but I was I was scared to travel alone. Not in the way of like getting hurt, whatever. I was just like a little bit nervous to go like off the deep end right away. So I was like, I went to Costa Rica, which was like a pretty comfortable place for me for 2 weeks by myself, and then I came back, and then I joined like a Wi-Fi tribe chapter where I didn't know anyone, but there were people set up, and I went all the way to Asia and like, but I wasn't by myself. I was with a group of, people until, one day I was solo traveling through the Middle East. So it's like, take little steps. You don't have to jump all the way in. So for you, I would always say, just like, what's the next little thing out of your comfort zone you can do?
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
What's next?
Number 7. This is, I'm assuming you've heard this one. I feel like this is one of the most popular travel ones, but it says, the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. Do you know this one?
No, I don't.
St. Augustine. Apparently.
100% agree. 100%.
Tell me why. Can you break that down? I feel like the first time I saw that, I was like, what? This is before I started traveling. Can you explain? So the world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. What does that mean to you?
So I see it as maybe your little hometown city is one page. And in your hometown city, you have a culture. You've got different types of food. You've got the people of that city. Just like this is a finite amount, right? You've got a finite type of food. You got a finite type of personality. You've got a finite types of sports. Everything that the world could possibly offer, you've got this little chunk of that. And we've got an entire world of those little chunks of life, of places to go hiking, things to do, beautiful things to see. Experiences to have. You've got a tiny little chunk of that available. Say it's like 0.01% of available things that you could experience. Right? So that is your world. That is your page, 0.01. The more of those you fill up, the more you will add pages to your book because they're all going to be different. I think maybe people assume that it's kind of similar or it's scary or whatever, but the idea that we've got this planet, which is not that big, really, now, especially now, because we've got access to everything, got internet everywhere. The idea that you could be born here and not see and experience a ton of that is sad. It's really sad. There's so many more pages, and each one of those pages could look like I go to Oaxaca City, and I go to Dia de los Muertos, and I meet all of these people that celebrate this beautiful ceremony in a graveyard with candles lit all over. The whole ceremony just glows orange. It's like nothing I've ever seen. And people honoring their ancestors. And then after that, you go to a traditional local mezcal bar where they've been producing mezcal for, families for 500, 600 years from the grandparents.
Your dream.
Cultural stuff, right? And then you go and have some food and you speak a different language. It challenges a different part of your brain to speak a different language. And then you live in an area that you've never even thought of before, a type of bed you've never lived on, in a hammock sometimes, all of that is a whole nother page in the book that you'll never have. And you can't get that by watching TV, and you're never going to get that in your hometown. So yeah, as you keep adding these pages, they're all over the place. There's pockets everywhere. You can just go one city away from Oaxaca. It's a whole new set of stuff, So yeah, that's a good one. I've actually thought of that one before. The idea that there's just this, we've just got this globe of experiences, and people don't want to see it. A lot of people don't want to see it. Few people do, and some of the people that say they do want it partly. They want part of it. They want the comfortable part. They want to be able to see it like it's in an aquarium. Going to. What would that be? Like Cabo, right? Be like, okay, going to Cabo. I want to see it from a safe distance. I don't really want to be in it. I don't want to walk through that graveyard. I want to see it, and I think that's kind of different. I think you got to get in there and start adding pages to it. That's such a great quote.
I can't believe I've never heard that one.
Such a great quote.
Do you think that travel, as you're saying this, I'm trying to not just mirror each other and be echo chamber here or, believe travel is the only way. But I was trying to think as you were saying that, and I was like, are there other things that can expand our pages, aside from travel? Do you think that okay, so it's saying the world's book, those who do not travel read only one page. Do you think someone can add pages by adding new hobbies, meeting new people, doing new work? Like, or do you think travel is like really the only way to add pages?
It's a great way to add pages, but I think there's other ways to do it. Sure. Reading is great. Reading is a cultural experience. So are movies, but good movies, not junk. You know, like you watch a foreign movie, right? A really good foreign movie. Yeah, you can add pages. Sports, great one. Taking on new sport. Like, okay, so you're in Atlanta now, and you went to pickleball alone, right? With a group of people that you didn't know, and still building your skill set. It's like, it doesn't seem like much to people maybe listening on the call. It is. Like, there's a lot to that. You're going and meeting a whole bunch of people you don't know, and they're all judging each other's skill sets, and you're playing competitively against them and striking up social conversations and stuff. And it's right there. It wasn't traveling. I mean, you drove there, but it's still the same city. It doesn't count, really. So yeah, you can.
But do you think that adds another page, or is that adding like another sentence? I get a new page for that?
Yeah, I think it adds a page. If it turns into like a legitimate hobby of yours, you're playing like 4 or 5 hours a week. That's a page. Yeah. It's part of your daily life, right?
It's I was trying to just like question when I sometimes it's like I read these quotes and I'm like, yeah, because I just love good quotes. But I do think like you can continue to evolve in your town, in your city, wherever. Like, it's not like you can't keep at it, or maybe it's like adding sentences, maybe you know, to your page, or maybe you fill a book. But like when you travel, you fill like you get like libraries. I don't know, but I think the whole point of this is it's like, there's so much, even as we look at ourselves, of if I think about the universe, right? It's like, I think we think about this earth and we're like, it's everything. And then like, we know fucking nothing, right? Like there's probably so many other planets and universes and whatever creatures, I don't know, that, you know, and we think we're the whole world, like the whole everything. I think it's the same sort of analogy of like, if you never leave your hometown, it's like you don't even know what else is out there, and there is so much more that can expand you. So I don't know that I think there's ways that you can keep evolving, and I hope you do if you're not traveling, but I do, it's like, I don't know, man, travel, there's just like nothing quite fucking like it. Where you just it's unexplainable too. It's kind of like taking ayahuasca, you know? It's like you can't it's like, I promise you this changed me, but if you weren't there, I can't, it's really hard to explain to you how. I feel like that's what this whole podcast is really about, is us trying to be like, here's how travel, like, is what it's done for us and how it changes. And it's like, it takes hours and hours and hours of like explanation that if you've never done it, it's just like, it's so hard to grasp. But like just being, and that's why I said like, the places, we said like that travel far enough to meet yourself. Like the farther I go, when I'm like in the middle of nowhere, Namibia, seeing this nomadic tribe who's never, you know, just like seeing how they live all in their little village together, and there's just kids running around. It's like, I can't explain how that changed my bones, but it did. And, you know, being in Asia in the middle of nowhere, Vietnam, riding through these small towns on a motorcycle, where I was like, I am so fucking far away from home, and these people are living this whole world, and they don't know mine and I don't know theirs, but I'm seeing it and I'm learning it. Just like it just adds pages, and it's hard to explain, but there's just nothing quite like it.
There is nothing like it. Like it's even a stretch what I was saying with the hobbies. It's not close. I think it's adding
sentences. You're adding more sentences to your page. Or maybe your book of home, but you want like a library of books.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say like the world is a library, and those who don't travel never have multiple books. You can write a whole...
You got your own.
I'm changing it. I think you can write a whole book if you never leave your home, but I think you can like have libraries when you travel. That's what I think.
I like it.
Good. Okay.
Good.
Number 8. 20 years... I think you've got to know this one. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did do. This is Mark Twain.
100%. 100%.
Tell me, Mo.
The biggest regrets are always from people that didn't do what they wanted, didn't have the courage to do what they wanted to do. That's the way I felt. And people say that. The people say that. The people.
The 5 regrets of the dying. Who are the people? What are they saying?
My biggest regrets are not taking a risk on certain things.
Why do you think, like, why do you think it's so much different that people don't regret as much the things that like they did try and do versus it's like I get why people regret things they haven't done. Why do you think it's like what about the times that we did things and like fucked up or didn't go well or went bad or you went to Dakhla, Morocco and hated your life for 2 weeks? Like why do we regret, maybe you do regret that one, but like why do you think we regret the things that we didn't do? Like if you had never gone on that trip and you didn't go to France and go to the Nomad camp, I know you would have regretted that. That's why you went. Yeah. So why do we regret the things that we didn't do more than the things that we did, do you think?
A couple reasons. One, I think it's a reflection on your character and your ego. If you don't do something, you punish yourself. I have before. Like I didn't have the courage to do what I wanted to do. And that's just shame. There's shame in that. In not having courage to do something. And that hurts. That one hurts the ego. And then there's the what if. You know, there's the rumination. What if I'd done it? My life could have been different. My life could have been better. Better things could have happened for me if I only had the courage to do it. Whereas if you did it, like you come out of it rarely, unless you do something malicious or mean, you don't really regret the decisions you make too much, or somebody gets hurt, right? You don't really regret the decisions you make too much. You just kind of look back on it and be like, oh, I won't do that again. You learn from it. So I learned. I don't regret going to Dakhla. I learned I'm never going to Dakhla, and it's actually a funny story now. You know, a lot of your total travel fuck ups. Like I don't regret them. I don't regret getting sick or injured or anything like that. I think they turn into interesting stories and character, and it helps to share these things with people. So you like this could happen. Check this out. You've got it's. Oh, you know what it is? It's wisdom. You gain wisdom through experiences, and you don't gain wisdom when you don't go for experiences. Boom. That felt good. How'd that feel for you?
Felt real good.
Yeah.
So as good for you as it was for me.
Great. That was it.
Mic drop. Okay, so not doing something you regret, doing something gives you wisdom even if you fuck it up.
Yeah.
That's Jeff's new quote.
Exactly.
I totally agree. I remember someone asked me on a podcast interview once, it was after like the first 4 months of travel that I did, and they said like they were trying to backtrack. They were like, before you left, like what were you most scared of when you were traveling alone? And I think they thought I was going to say like I was so scared to be alone. I was scared I was going to get kidnapped, or I don't know. And I said, my only fear is that I was never going to travel and see these places. So it was more of the regret of like, what if I don't go do this? And that's the whole reason that I honestly figured out how to work remotely, how to make remote income, because I got a travel bug and I was like, there are so many places in the world and I will never get to see them if I stay in this corporate job. But 10 days of vacation every year, are you kidding me? Like it takes 2 days just to travel to Asia. I'm going to get to one country, barely scratch the surface of that. And there's all these countries in Asia I want to see. So like, it's going to take my whole life. And then I'm going to be 70 if I get there and I'm not going to be able to see anything. So for me, it was just like, I was so afraid of not getting to see the places in the world that's what drove me. But yeah, again, it's like as I've been sick in the last 2 years and couldn't go, I would have, let's say I was on my deathbed in that time, I looked back and I remember saying this before I got sick too. I was like, if anything ever stopped me, like I will have no regrets in my life because I've been living. I went and traveled to the places I wanted to go. I just booked a flight there. I met new people. I went, and there are so many more pages and books and libraries I want to experience. I don't feel done. But if something happened, I wouldn't regret, like even the last 2 years of being home most of the time, I don't regret it because it's like, that's the reality. That's where I like need to be right now. But I lived while I could and I did the things. Yeah. And of course I have regrets and things that like maybe I should have tried, but I really try to live of like, I'm going to have the conversations. I'm going to go to the places. I'm going to do the things. If I have a desire, I'm going to try it, because you don't want to like, we had a whole episode about 5 regrets of the dying. And so many of them are just, it's regretting the things that they, not living a life they wanted to live, of working too much and not doing what they really wanted to do. So yeah, as you look at it, it's like, I 100% agree. And maybe travel isn't that for everybody. Probably if you're listening to this, travel is that for you. So go travel to the places that call to you. That's my.
You know what also I want to add to that? I think the people that judge this lifestyle, that are like, when are you going to come home? When are you going to start living your life? I think they are angry at themselves for not doing this. And misery does love company. They don't like it rubbed in their face that they're not doing what they want to be doing. You know, like, I wish I could do that, so I'm going to bring them down to my level. I think that's very true. It's a psychological thing when you kind of want to balance things. Like, if you see somebody having more courage than you, it just rubs it in your face. I don't have courage. Like, oh, man, I wish I could do that. So I got to judge them and bring them down. And really, they're angry at themselves.
Yeah. And again, it's not to say that this lifestyle is like meant for everybody or is the best one. And even in fact, like, I feel like as we've done this so many years, we have a lot of nomad friends who have become jealous of the people who like have a home base and do have stability and have what it's like. They're like, they want that too. So again, one's not better or worse, but it's just like, if you have that travel bug, if you want to travel, don't like judge other people for doing it and be like, oh, that must be nice. Like, you go do it because you'll regret it if you don't.
Exactly.
Okay. That one's like kind of travel-y, but also just like a general life one. All right, number 9, wherever you go becomes a part of you somehow.
I think so. Well, memories, right? You incorporate that into your personality, and you get memories from traveling. For me, better than anything else, for sure. And also, I've heard that quote, you're the sum of the 5 closest people to you in your life. Something like that. Mm-hmm. And when you're traveling, you meet people and live with people in close proximity, and you incorporate parts of who they are into you. It could be as subtle as the way they speak, words they use, interests, hobbies, habits, things like that. People do it a lot of times subconsciously. It just becomes a little bit who they are. So yeah, I do. I agree with that quote too.
I think I agree with it 100%. I think the question I have for you on top of that, the more important part is like, why does that matter? Does it matter? Is it good or is it bad? Wherever you go becomes a part of you somehow.
I mean, unless something terribly traumatic happens to you, excluding PTSD, DACA,
or that's a part of you.
It's part of me. Yeah. Again, it's wisdom. Bad or good, you carry it with you, and you have wisdom about life and living. You have practical knowledge about life and living.
I love it.
That you can share
like
with people.
All these quotes just come down to travel gives you wisdom.
Yeah.
There's a quote. What is, I'm going to have to look it up. I forget. It's like, not travel. It's like experience plus information gives you wisdom. So you can like have the information. Someone can tell you about travel. They can tell you about something. It's like you don't have wisdom until you've like lived the experience. You have information, add your experience to it, and that becomes that becomes wisdom. So I think a lot of, as we're looking at these quotes, it's like, you're just gaining wisdom. You become a wise elder in life by the end of your years.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it is neat. I like that. If we think wherever you go becomes a part of you somehow, I mean, if you think about if we're looking at wisdom as the answer here, and we're back to like the quote about pages in a book or books and libraries, right? Like, one book is only so wise. When you have a library of information, that's a wiser, I don't know, that's just like a lot more wisdom to pull from. So for me, I think, I've like taken from people who, we talked about intelligence on the episode before this. I think that was like just the previous one. And I've met so many people who, you know, maybe as I've traveled, maybe they had a higher IQ or not, but I didn't speak the same language. I watched some like just little things that they were doing or rituals, or like, I feel like a lot of people, you know, had wisdom of like certain foods that help heal you, or I don't know, just ways of life, practices, and like that has imprinted in me. So I do think, I feel like I am such a wiser person for having all those places and people and cultures as part of me. I like the wisdom layer to that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, next. This one's super cliche. I'm curious your thought on it, but I had to include it and kept it. Okay, to travel is to live.
Yeah, agreed. For all of the reasons we talked about before. That one I think is self-evident after everything we talked about. For me, at least. And I'd say probably for everybody.
So the mandatory. Question I have to that then, it should be mandatory. So that's kind of my follow-up question to you. Okay. What's your thought? So does that mean if someone hasn't traveled or doesn't travel, that they are not living?
They're living, yeah, but they're not thriving. They're not alive. They're going through the motions, I'd say.
Every single person?
I don't know. I just don't think we're meant to be in a safe, comfortable little bubble and not challenging yourself all the time. And there's not many ways that challenges you like traveling does. It really isn't, yeah. I think a lot of people convince themselves that it's not for them, and maybe it's not as valuable as it actually is. But I think they're just scared. I think they're just scared, and they're trying to justify their decision. And I think that's what a lot of times is. Like, if people don't agree with this lifestyle that we have, or think that it's childish, or things, or like we're in Peter Pan syndrome, I just think it's that. I think that's the thing.
Jake, does it count to travel like to close play, like to different state, to different part of your own country?
I think so. It's not as my brother and his girlfriend have been doing these like actually very regularly now. They'll do weekend trips to different cities. Like they did Portland, San Diego, Boston, Chicago coming up, and they'll go for like 3 days and just go walk around the city, get the food, it's great. It is out of your comfort zone. You're seeing something different. You're meeting new people and challenging yourself. Yeah, it's not as intense as going.
Yeah.
That's way scary going somewhere where they don't speak your language and different money, all that shit. But yeah, I think it's great. And I mean, it's a great starting point for somebody that wants to start traveling, being a digital nomad, work location independent. If you got a local airport, we got a local airport here. It's like 20 minutes away. It's like, it's a modular unit. You go in and pat yourself down, fly the plane if you want. Go ahead. Go to a local airport, see where they fly direct to. Just go there for a weekend. It's low cost, low risk. Don't have to take time off work or maybe a day off work. Maybe that's dipping your toes in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even thought of that. I like that.
It's interesting, as I was looking at to travel is to live. I think it's, I don't know, what's the word? Not naive, but like kind of brazen of us to be like, travel is the only, like you're not living if you're not traveling. I think like, you think about someone who's become a new mother or father, has a baby, like they're lit, like their whole world is expanding, they're experiencing more. I think like they're living and not traveling, right? Or even just, trying something new, or maybe you're writing a book at home, or you go for, I don't know. I think like there are like, I don't think you're necessarily not living at all if you aren't traveling the world like all the time. But I do think for me, it's like, I think travel puts, if I could make my own quote and replace this one, I would say travel puts more life in your life. That's what I would say. It's like, I just think it's like,
it's good.
Expanse, we joke that like travel is like dog years, so like 1 year of human life is like 7 years of age for a dog. I feel like when you travel for a month, it's it's like 10 years of living, like it's impossible to explain that till you've done it. But yeah, I just think it's like I feel like you're like wringing out more life, and you're like getting every last drop of life through travel in a way that when I'm home, I don't know, I go through the motions. I don't feel like I'm living as much. I have moments where I do, like really great moments where you're I'm trying something new, or I'm with a fun group of people, or laughing a lot, whatever it is. It's like I don't think it's, if you don't travel you're not living whatsoever, but I do think a well-lived life includes travel. I'll make that a quote too. A life lived includes travel.
There it is. That's the one.
Okay, I'm glad we're working through these. Okay, number 11. Travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer.
In the soul? Yeah. In the soul. Materially? No. Actually, you get rid of shit. You lose material stuff. The more I travel. This is a $7 Target sweatshirt I stole from my brother with holes in it, and I love it.
I like that sweatshirt.
Thank you. Actually, I like this sweatshirt.
I love a good hoodie. It looks comfy. I would steal it.
Really, really good. Trust me. This is so stealable. It's a great one. Yeah, and the point of that is like I just don't have many clothes because I don't want stuff. Like I've traded material stuff for spiritual richness.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the point. Travel's the only thing you buy that makes you spiritually richer. You can buy stocks that can make you richer. You can buy other things that make you more money. But I think there's also
stock in life.
Yeah. God. Travel is buying stock in life. We're just creating new travel quotes. I disagree with this quote that travel's the only thing you buy that makes you richer. I feel like you can buy, a pottery class experience where you are and become richer for doing that. So I disagree that it's the only thing, but I will say, if I could redo this quote, I would say travel spending money on travel makes you spiritually richer. Let's redo it. Okay. Number 12, we travel not to escape life, but for life not to escape us.
For me, yeah, but we've talked about this before. Some people travel to escape life, whatever their problems might be, running away from them, distracted, and then it comes back to haunt them. I think done right, yeah, that's completely correct. Yeah, I do fear running out of life before I can see as many things as I want to see. One of the reasons I think I traveled, similar to what you said earlier, I don't want to miss anything. If there's not that much time, really. So I don't. Well, I've got it. Like I feel like I want to see as many things as I can, or at least be living in a way that's enriching all the time. And travel's a big part of that for me.
Yeah, and that involves rest too, right? Like I think if you spent 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, like the people who go backpacking or go travel as a digital nomad, and you don't realize, like, you know, you're moving all the time thinking it's the same as just not, like, you burn out. Like it's exhausting as well. Like you can only fit so many travel years in like every day and every month, like before your like brain is taken on too much. So I think that's not to say, like, even for you, Jeff, right? Like, you spend a month or two, you go back home, you rest, you get your stability, your downtime, your dog time, and then you go out again to, like, get the enrichment. So it doesn't mean, like, you know, it's the same as, like, if you have a bite of cake, it's like, yeah, it's going to taste so good, but you don't want to eat cake all day, every day. And the only thing, like, you need other things too. But I agree. I won't, add more than that because I think you covered it well. Okay, number 13. Once the travel bug bites, there is no antidote.
100%.
I've actually never heard this as a quote.
100% true.
Why do you think that?
I think for most people, well, oh man, once you see it and feel it, it's hard to unfeel that. Because I remember with that first trip, a Wi-Fi tribe going to Medellin, it just clicked in my head. It's like, this is what's missing. This is the part of me that I've been looking for, and you can't unsee that. You know, it's out. It's already, you've already felt it. You've already seen it, and it's like after that, it was just full steam ahead. How do I do this as often as humanly possible? There's nothing going to stop me from it. You know, it's just like breathing for the first time, and somebody says, "Okay, well, that was temporary." No, no way, no freaking way.
Yeah. It's interesting. I was out for a walk in the last couple days, and I walked by like my childhood home that I grew up in, and I was looking at this house and just thinking about like how many memories it held, and like all my friends who would like park on the street there who would come over, and I have this like whole world, and I was perfectly happy with like a small world like in Atlanta where I grew up, and it felt really big. I don't even mean the city. Like my life felt big. It's like before I kind of like you're saying, it's like once the veil's been undone, it's like I didn't really know any different. Like I went on vacation with my family here and there, but I hadn't really like traveled. And like you said, it's like once that bug bites, like I want more. Like when you and I both, you explained it as itchy feet was your version of it. But when we're home too long, it's like I mean, maybe it is an addiction. I don't know, but I think it's a good one. But we're like, I want something new. I want to see. I want to go somewhere different. I want to experience. It's like I get really bored. Just I don't know. It's an interesting one, but I don't think like I don't know. Do you think it's a bad thing ever?
Yeah, I mean, I think it
to have the travel bug.
Like when we've talked about people like doing it in an unsustainable way, and you're just constantly chasing the next place. Got to get that rush. Got to get that high. I mean, yeah, and I think that's largely a phase that we've seen in most people. Once you see how quickly you get tired and burned out, you're like, all right. The travel bug maybe dies down a little bit, at least that dopamine rush that you're looking for, and then you start to look for a little bit more sustainable version of that. So yeah,
that's fair.
Can be, but I think it's just a phase.
Yeah. I remember when I was in my corporate job in New York, I took 2 months. I was like moving to Los Angeles. My boyfriend at the time had taken a job out there, and I had 2 months, or I basically said, like, I'm taking 2 months off. I took a little sabbatical thinking I'd like cure this travel bug. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to these places. I had this desire, like, and I went, and I thought that would cure. Like, I was like, okay, like I'll take 2 months. I'll go. I think I went to like 6 or 7 different countries, and I was like, that will cure my travel bug, and then I can just be sedated and go back to my corporate world for a while. And it just like I feel like it just amplified. I think the more you travel, the worse your bug usually gets, and you realize. It's like the more places you go, it's not like, okay, now I've seen enough. The more places you go, you're usually like, oh, I just learned about 37 different places from people I just talked to or that I saw or learned along the way. Or I was here and someone told me about a small village a couple hours and now I want to go there too. It's like, I feel like your bug just gets, there's no antidote. And I think it just gets like more and more intense. You get bigger bug.
Yeah, the bug grows.
The bug grows. Okay, 2 more. Almost done here. Number 14. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yep.
I guess that's very factual, but what does that mean to you? It's like, factually, yes, that's true. You can't not do that, but what's the point of that quote?
I had another one that I used to use. It's like you don't jump to the top of a ladder, right? You take step. I mean, that's with anything that you want to do. People always see the end result. I want to lose 15 pounds. And they're like, that's so overwhelming. That's so hard to do. I can't do that today. It's not worth my time. But it's just tiny little steps that get you there, right? Like you have to take one step at a time to get there. Otherwise, it feels too daunting. Like you just won't do it. You won't do it. If you see how big each step is in total, right? See the top of the mountain, you're like, fuck that. But like if you just set little goals, it actually is the only thing that actually works for people to set new habits, really, is to get that little tiny win that builds on another win. That's why people say, if you don't want to go to the gym, just tell yourself you're going to work out for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Go to the gym,
put your tennis shoes on. Put your shoes on.
Yeah, put your shoes on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then like, okay, I'm going to show up, I'm going to do 10 minutes. And then you get there and you're like, well, I can do 10 minutes more. And then all of a sudden, now you're building momentum. Because realistically, it's just, you're just trying to build momentum is what it is, right? And then you've got a new lifestyle of this habit.
Yeah, I like that. I was listening to a podcast recently that was talking about like with anything new like that. It said like start embarrassingly small. It's like the steps that you have to take. It's like if you want to go to the gym, put your shoes on one day. That feels embarrassingly small. It feels embarrassingly like you're like, I'm not even going to, it's so easy. Everyone else can just put on their shoes, but it's like, that might be a hard step for you. Maybe you don't even have the shoes yet. Maybe you just need to go on Amazon and buy the shoes. Sorry. I know people don't like Amazon. Go buy your shoes if you want to buy them from a local shop, wherever you want to go. But I think it's the same with travel. I remember I had a client once who had a lot of fear about just traveling by herself. She was an older woman. And I remember I said to her, it's like, first I was like, just go sit in a park alone. Go out to dinner by yourself. Go, and then eventually she booked, her dream I think also was to like travel around in a camper van by herself. So I said, why don't you just, it was to buy one, right? I said, go rent one and spend one night, go park it an hour from your home, go to some state, and like that was terrifying for her, right? And she did it. And then it's like, and then you keep expanding and then you keep expanding. So if you've listened to this podcast for a while and you want to travel the world, you want to get a remote job, you want to go to, all the places you and I have talked about, but it seems like that's a big change. Start, like you said, like your brother, like just go to your closest airport and just go to a random place for like 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights. Start getting used to that. When that starts to feel comfortable, it's like the comfort zone we talked about, right? Like just expand it little bits at a time. Don't jump to the ego death to like the end of the universe first. So I love that. Everything does start with a single step, and I think we forget. Even like you look at entrepreneurs or people who have started or written a book. It's like we just look at the end result. We're like, whoa, that looks hard, but like they wrote a first sentence. Like you thought of a title. You whatever. Start small. Okay. Very very last one. Number 15. Travel makes one modest. I don't know about me and you, Jeff. You see what a tiny place you occupy in the world. So yeah, travel makes one modest. Basically, it's saying because you see what a tiny place you occupy in this earth.
Not always the most modest person.
I was gonna say, you and I have not been modest today.
Not the most modest person. I don't know. I was kind of being sassy sometimes, but I think so. I think it can make you it can make you modest because it can be humbling in how little you know. I think the more I travel, the more I realize I really don't know shit. I know like a tiny little corner of the world's knowledge, very very tiny, but It's pretty humbling. It's really, you get humbled a lot. I think it's good for your ego to get knocked down a little bit. I don't know the language. I don't know the customs. I don't know how to. I don't even know how to get food here. It's like, all right, it takes you down a peg or two, you know. So yeah, I think it can help with modesty quite a bit. And a lot of the people that we travel with might be lucky that we got into our Wi-Fi tribe crew, but there's people are pretty humble. They're not big egos with most of these people that we hang out with.
Yeah.
Actually, almost all of the people we hang out with, I don't see a ton of egos, and it's unique that it sticks out when I'm traveling, and I see somebody that's got a bit of a big ego, and you're like, that's out of place. And usually it's not part of our group. You know, I'd be in PE and see somebody. There's one guy I'm thinking of in particular sells courses on how to sell courses, and just got and it's like preaches life advice. Meanwhile, we got none of their shit together. It's the digital douchebag archetype, but it sticks out because you go home, you see that quite a bit. You go to an office, you see that quite a bit. But traveling, it's like, for me, it's like a sore thumb. Like, oh, that's out of place. Something here is not like the other. So I agree with this one.
I feel like we've been not modest today in our travel, but being like, travel's better. Everything's better when you travel. If you're not living, if you're not traveling. I think
we couched it all pretty well. I don't think
No, I'm semi-joking. But I do agree. I think to me, it's that same analogy I gave earlier is like, if you think about your place in the world and like you then think about Earth as this tiny little speck in the whole universe, I think travel starts to put that in perspective when you go somewhere and you realize like that your neighborhood, your city, your town, your life, the people that you thought was everything in the whole world, you're like, oh my God, there is so much more out here. And those people, they don't even want to live where I live. They don't even like that. You know, it's like, I think humbled might be I would agree with this quote even more if it said travel humbles you. You see what a tiny place you occupy in the world. Same kind of feeling where if you go somewhere where there's like a lot of really beautiful stars in the sky and you're looking up at them, or you look out at an ocean that's super expansive, there's a lot of like, I don't know if it's called science, but people who say it's like you feel like you see how much bigger the world is when you look out at an ocean. You're like, I'm a tiny little speck here, you know? And I think travel really helps put that in perspective to realize what a little tiny place you occupy in the world, and not in a bad way, in a really cool way. I think it's like there's so much more. There's so much out there, and that's why I think back to my days growing up in my house and my neighborhood and my friends and my little 15-minute radius that I stayed. It felt big when I was little, and now I'm like, whoa, there's so much more out there. And I think that's cool, and it does keep you humble to see, like you said, how little you actually know. And it might be just different things, like you go to a tiny culture where maybe someone doesn't even have a phone or internet or something, but they know how to like till the land and grow food that like I would starve if I was, like they have a knowledge of nature or land or moon cycles or what, like who knows, like they just have, it's like people have different knowledge. So I think there's a quote I always say a lot where it's like something's not necessarily better, it's just different. And I feel like travel has humbled me in a way to realize just like how many different types of knowledge and practices and places, and I'm just this tiny little speck in the world, and like what an honor it is to get to experience it and learn it and see it all along the way.
And also hallucinogens. Very humbling. Very humbling.
Or you can just take hallucinogens and not travel anywhere.
Or take all those doses.
Or take hallucinogens while you're somewhere else.
Very humbling.
Maximize it all.
Yeah. Maximally living.
Oh, Lord. All right, Jeff. Well, as we just wrapped up those 15, any thoughts, any themes you saw as we pull this all together?
Traveling makes you wise.
Done.
And humble. Just like us.
If you want to be wise and humble like us, go travel.
We're the humblest out there.
We're on one today, but I do like that. Travel makes one wise. That's Jeff's new quote, new tank top. We'll put it on and sell them one day. But I would agree, as I think a lot of things you said were very wise takeaways with that, and it's the wisdom. Like travel just gives you a lot of like learned experience and wisdom that I think you just can't get any other way. You can get different wisdom not traveling, but it's just like a certain flavor and brand of life and wisdom that you get from traveling. That's my takeaway.
Leave it at the mic drop. Boom.
Done.
See you next week.
Bye.